Hello, Rose. How are you?
I'm very well.
How
Oh my God, I'm having issues with the push buttons today.
Hey, you know what it is? It's because the weather's getting nicer and we all want to be outside. That's what's happening. Did you hear it's going to be 22 by the end of the week? I'm all shades of excited. I'm telling you guys, welcome to our Healing Through Love show. We're here to increase the awareness within the community about providing family and domestic violence survivors with a soft place to land and to offer our services available to these survivors and their families.
And we have a myriad of exhibitors who offer their time and their resources to join us on our Pamper Days each year, which unfortunately this year we've had to put off, but there will be definitely one in May in 2020.
Which we are very, very much looking forward to in May next year. But what we're doing on this show is each week we interview a couple of fantastic supporters of Healing Through Love. We learn about their businesses and their journeys and why they support Healing Through Love.
Excellent. Guys, today we've got two incredible guests lined up for you, and they are Merilyn Skelton from the Pillars of Respect and Sarah Griffiths, who is an abuse and trauma therapist. So I'm very, very excited to first of all introduce to you Merilyn Skelton from Pillars of Respect, which creates communities around courageous communications to cause love, respect and connection in a gentle, safe and respectful environment. The outcome of Pillars of Respect is that there are zero, so this is what they're looking for, is 0 deaths from violence in Australia by 2030. Wow, I love that. Pillars of Respect has been set up to empower, facilitate and support individuals, groups and organisations who already have their interests in ending all violence in relation to amplify their message, to create an ongoing culture of fulfilled with love, respect and connection. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Merilyn. Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks, Charlene. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you here, Merilyn. And you know, you're in great company because Healing Through Love is all about supporting and creating that soft place to land where we offer those Pamper Days. And as Rose mentioned, unfortunately, the Pamper Day that we had scheduled for this year because of COVID has been moved to May next year, and that's okay. So in the meantime, what we're doing is we're organising Pamper packages to getting to the front line, to the girls that are getting out of situations, and we're doing what we can to support those who support the community. So it's great to have you here. Could you tell us a little bit about your business?
So I set up Pillars of Respect 3 years ago because I personally am a survivor of violence in relationships myself, but not in the traditional sense of intimate partner violence or domestic violence. So I saw that what's required is empowering and facilitating individuals, groups and organisations to really get everyone working together to create cultural change that's required so that we can cause 0 deaths from violence in relationships in Australia by 2030. So it's still early days online. So it's still very much in a birthing process online, but the uptake I've had so far has been incredible, and I'm just really thrilled that I've been able to come on and share with you about Pillars of Respect and all of the beautiful people that you support through Healing Through Love. So, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so what specifically are you doing in and around that space to provide support with people who are supporting the same avatar, the same people that you are?
So it's about empowering. There's a whole myriad of individuals and groups and organisations across the spectrum that heal through love for survivors and also for the other side of it. So it's empowering those people's voices to to really go in where people haven't been feet to tread. So I know that the people who've had interactions with me since declaring that there'll be 0 deaths from violence in relationships by 2030, have now they've had breakthroughs in having more courageous conversations with people about violence and anger and all of the things that lead up to because before it becomes physically violent, there's usually a big build-up before. So providing the support and the backup for those people to really step up into their leadership, whether it be in their personal lives, whether it be if they run an organisation, whether it is that they're a coach or a trainer, they're a tantra healer or any of those sorts of things, anything that facilitates and empowers, because since opening the doors online, Pillars of Respect, about 3 months ago, just the door has opened. There are so many people who really want to see this change occur now. So it's been amazing just having conversations with people, and everyone I've spoken to has an opinion about how it can be permanently altered, and everyone I've spoken to is committed, whether it be a smaller commitment or a bigger commitment, because I don't know anyone who wants to have violence in their relationships in any context.
Yeah,
So,
it's a systemic challenge, isn't it? It is a challenge across the board, and it's different in every country, and it's different at the moment it's different in different states, and it's not just something that's bound by socioeconomic rules either. We're totally on your side. We're totally here to support what you're doing, and lots of the people that we work with, but a lot of the people that we work with are survivors themselves. And now they're out the other side and they're running their own businesses. In fact, 1 year, a girl that came as a survivor, the following year came as an exhibitor. So, that's in itself a success story. So we share the same avatar, and everyone that we work with is obviously going to be keen to know a little bit more about what you're doing in your space and how they can get involved. So how can people get involved in what you're doing?
So there's a Facebook group called the Pillars of Respect, Conversations for Love, Respect and Connection group. So that's the first point of call in the Pillars of Respect Facebook page. From there, I run events, and I'm in the beginning phases of beginning to. I've run a few events called Conversations for Love to really involve the whole community in what it takes for us in every moment of every day, not to have violence in relationships happen to begin with. And that so those are the key places to begin with at this point. And I'm on Instagram as well, and Twitter and all of those usual suspects.
Excellent, I love it. And no doubt we'll have all of that listed in the show details and also in the event details as well. So they can contact you and reach out. If you are listening to this and you are a survivor yourself and you want to be in the company, in the proximity of people who are going through the process of healing others, then come and reach out. If you're someone who offers services, please reach out to Pillars of Respect and join the community, because together as a collective we can all make a difference, and we can change the way the world views violence, and whether it be domestic or family violence, we can change it, guys. And it starts with us. I remember thinking that who am I? I'm a survivor. What difference can I make in this space? And now, years down the track, I have a look at what we've done with Healing Through Love and creating these pamper days and changing girls' lives and running the show. One person can make a difference, guys. When you're together as a collective, and God bless Ali wherever you are, and Rose, the two girls that I work with, at the three of us together, like, we're unstoppable. We can do magic. So when you've got a larger group of people that are really sold on this vision of stopping all violence by 2030, then we can just shift the entire world. I love it. It's beautiful. So people get hold of you by going to the Facebook page, and they also through Instagram. Now, so can you tell me a little bit more about the events that you run? That would be great to know a little bit more about the events that you run.
So currently online, I'm doing a respect series. So all of the ways respect through a Facebook Live with one of my dear collaborators about all of the ways respect gets shown and not shown in relationships. And I also run events called Conversations for Love. So that's about having inquiry conversations into how we all have love inside of us anyway, but it's about embracing that to a next level and how we can match that love that we have for ourselves and others and bring that to impact in violence in our everyday conversations. So they're fortnightly events online, and then in the Facebook group as well, there's information available there, and anyone's available to direct message me. And you know, as a survivor myself, yeah, I consider it really an honour and a privilege, because some of the people I've spoken to since starting Pillars of Respect up have just been amazing with what they've shared, and I really feel like there's such a commitment across Australia. I'm thrilled we're in South Australia, because I love South Australia and my middle name comes from South Australia. So that, you know, as a collective, that we can all do something about this together to have it end forever, so the next generations don't have to deal with it at all.
It is so true. And I think, you know, if I can read between the lines of what you were saying, is that the non-violence needs to start with ourselves, treating ourselves with love and respect. And you know, what language we use around the things that we do and supporting ourselves. And if we can be kinder to ourselves, then we can be kinder to other people as well. And, you know, like energy attracts like energy. So if we can be coming from a good, loving, respectful place, then, you know, we'll be in an environment in that proximity with others as well. So I love what you're doing. It's been fabulous to chat with you. It's been absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking forward to the girls reaching out. We're running across the bottom of the screen the details of the Facebook group so that you can see that. And that will also be listed in the event as well. So twofold, guys. If you're in this space and you're a survivor and you're looking to up your proximity, because you do know proximity is power, and we are the average of the 5 people that we hang with. So if you want to up your proximity, then come and hang with people here with Mary that are pointing themselves in the right direction. If you are a provider of services and you would like to keep that proximity, and, you know, with the events that she's running, there might be something that you can do that will make a difference in that space. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. And it would be great if COVID was all said and done by the time we have our next session, which will be May. So if it's over by May, hey, come over and join our next Pamper Day. You'd absolutely love it. You can have a stand and meet all the girls that come to get pampered. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go to a very brief commercial break. Was there anything that you wanted to say in closing? No, she's gone. Okay. We're going to go to a very brief commercial break, and then I'll be back with an introduction of our next guest. Hello, how are you? It's so great to have you back. I'd like to introduce you our next guest. Now, before I introduce you, I need to let you know that Sarah's in the UK at the moment. When we began our conversation, she was here in Australia, and her father is unwell, and so she had to fly to the UK. And I just want to give her an amazing, huge thanks for just jumping on. It's 3:30 in the morning there, and she doesn't even look like it's 3:30 in the morning. I just want to tell you a little bit about Sarah, and her internet connection is a little bit dodgy at the moment. So if she goes blank, we'll still be able to hear her. We just won't be able to see her. So we've got to embrace the time that we can see her. Sarah is an award-winning, award-nominated businesswoman. She is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, just like us, and her most passionate project is Sally.com, a journey of healing. And I'm not going to bang on, Sally. Sarah, I'm just going to let you jump on and tell us more about you and your business, please. Okay, so she's frozen. So I'll just keep talking about her until she oh, there you go. You can keep talking. If you talk,
Yeah.
Sarah, they'll be able to hear you.
Okay, so I'll just keep talking. It's pouring with rain here, and it's cutting in and out, but hopefully it'll be all right. Yeah. So so myself, the work that I do at the moment, I actually work as I'm a very unique and specialized hypnotherapist, and I actually discovered that you could use hypnotherapy along with some very specific healing tools to help people heal from the trauma of abuse. And that helps them heal from what they've endured physically. But obviously we know that the most enduring wounds are the emotional ones, the way that it leaves you feeling about yourself. And with hypnotherapy, it's possible to quickly and easily undo the thought patterns of how someone sees themselves. So that's the work that I do, and that's not just physical abuse, that's emotional, sexual, all of the horrific abuse that goes on. I work with. So, and I love doing it because of the healing that it brings to people, because of how it absolutely changes their lives.
I love it. I've been privileged to be a guest on Sarah's podcast, and it was just, we could have just talked for hours.
Yeah, and I'm like that with my guests, because what I love is most people who come to me either to work with me or as a guest, they're in the holistic space. You know, when we're not following the protocol of the tablets and the labels and the years and years of therapy, we're out there. Number one, mostly we come from our own experiences. But we're out there trying to find a faster way. You know, we just want people to get their lives back together. We're there to see all the good in people and to help them see the good in themselves when maybe they can't. So yeah, I work with, and yeah, in whatever capacity, I'm really lucky to work with some incredibly special people. So
I love it, Sarah. So when they change the way they look at things, the things they look at change. I love that. I love that. A lovely Wayne Dyer comment. So how does someone work with you now that you're in the UK?
Yeah, so the very interesting thing is hypnosis is just deep relaxation. So it's, if I said meditation, no one would think anything of it. So let's think of it as meditation. And all you need for meditation is to be able to hear me. So I actually work via Zoom, but that is not because I'm in the UK. I've always done that. So I've been doing this a few years now. My clients are all over the world. So all of my sessions are via Zoom. So it doesn't matter. Luckily for me, it doesn't matter where I am. As long as I have a laptop and an internet, I can do my work. So yeah, it's great.
Or even a phone, Sarah. Nowadays, you can do it all over a phone. It's so true.
Yeah.
So what's the type of people that come to you? So can you tell us a little bit more about the types of clients that come to you? Where are they on their journey with you?
Yeah, so a very, very mixed bag actually. I will get people who are in the very early stages, who have actually just been diagnosed with CPTSD, so complex post-traumatic stress. That maybe some of them will still be in a relationship that they're trying to leave and they just don't believe in themselves. So my job as that first step is to empower them, fill them with that self-confidence, that self-belief that has been taken away from them, to just to give them the courage and the strength to take that first step of leaving. And then maybe I'll work with someone else who has been through some kind of abuse, but is maybe at the stage, you know, where they've got their own home, their own family, they're trying to set up a business, but there's a block there. And again, it's all down to what they were taught, what their abuse taught them about themselves. So it's removing the block at that stage. So as you know, that you know, this is multi-layered, there are different stages. So, and I see the whole spectrum. So yeah.
Oh, wow. So how do they identify that they need to work with you? Like, what you know, what would they be looking for if they're coming to find you?
Yeah, so I think that the most common way that people identify is I'm stuck. I'm stuck is a very common phrase, or I'm afraid. I know what I need to do, but I'm afraid. And it's important then to understand, okay, you're afraid because you've been taught to not trust yourself. You've been taught that your decisions are no good. And there's a reason you've been taught that. And it's to control you and diminish you and keep you where you are. So if you're experiencing that, that would be one thing. And the other one is I'm just stuck. I've got so far and I can't move any further. And again, that's a similar version of the same thing. This is not hard. It all comes down to what abuse does. It removes your belief in yourself. Yeah, absolutely. This stuff is not hard. We make it far too complicated. Abuse is designed to remove your ability to be yourself, to trust yourself, to do things for yourself, and it's all designed to keep you stuck. So everyone is going to be working with a version of that.
So it's like taking the brakes off then, is it?
Absolutely. And it's when you don't understand why you're stuck. You don't understand what's happened to you, because a lot of people don't even understand the psychology of what happens when you are abused, why it affects you as it does. People almost feel bad, and especially when people say to you, oh, well, that was in the past, you should be over that by now, or oh, you've left now so now you'll be okay, as if once you remove yourself from the situation you are suddenly fine. Whereas we all know that the emotional and the psychological damage is enormous. And the neural pathways that have been laid down are ones that tell you that you are no good, that no one is going to love you, that you can't trust yourself, all of these negative things. And it's my job to undo those. And believe me, with hypnotherapy, we can undo them rapidly.
So when you undo something, do you have to replace it with something else? Like I know the universe pours a vacuum. Do you replace it with something else, like affirmations or anything else, or visualization, or is it just the hypnosis to take the brakes off?
No, absolutely. We replace it. So if I summarized it, the way I explain to my clients, my job is to understand, what does my client believe that doesn't serve them, and what do we replace it with? That's it exactly. Yes. So where do you want to be? What's the belief that sits behind that? And what's the truth? It's not even what do you want to believe, it's what is the truth. Because everything, if you're in an abusive situation, then everything you have been experienced, everything you have been taught about yourself is a lie. And the person who has done that to you is a very, very small person who has had to control and diminish you from their own lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem, their own lack of self. Someone only tries to diminish and control you because they fear you. None of us need to control and diminish what we don't fear. So when you start to understand that this person in themselves is operating from a very insecure space, it's very easy to reduce how you see them and the power and hold that they have over you. Because people see their abusers as these incredibly powerful, big people, and they're not. They're very, very small people who they're not as you see them. So it's a question of helping people. The hypnotherapy helps people to reduce their abusers as well, which is great.
I see. So what I notice is that I'm talking about women now, not so much the men, but lots of women who are out the other side of it and they're just getting along with their life and everything sort of seems normal. There's just that one thing, the finances look fine now, they've got a house, a car, and everything else is sort of moving forward. They maybe have had a series of unsuccessful relationships. There's just that one thing. Now, how do they know what they need is you? Like, you know, what are the signs that you've got PTSD in this space? Like, how does that manifest?
Yeah, so the CPT is normally, I call it complex. I mean, it might get diagnosed as post-traumatic stress, but complex is when it's sustained. You know, it's sustained and continuous abuse that you can't get away from. And again, this comes down to it's and it's this erosion of self. So, and it manifests as fear, as being stuck, of people dissociating, flashbacks, lack of trust. And really it's a disconnection, just this disconnection to self and disconnection to others, not being able to be totally involved and immersed in life, as you say, just this distance. And it can also, I mean, obviously there are triggers that come with it. There are trauma triggers associated with it. It's just that inability to move forward in the way that you would if this hadn't happened to you.
Over how many sessions is it a set thing, or do people need different amount of sessions, and how long does a session take?
Yeah, so it is bespoke, but what I've put together is what I now know works. So most people only need 3 sessions with me. It does depend. But most people only need 3. For very severe, complex post-traumatic stress, where people really are in a terrible state, then they probably need 6. But people need 3. A session with me is a little bit different in that it has 4 components that I do with someone over about 4 weeks. And again, that's not fixed. Nothing with me is fixed. You know, the time is up to the client. Some people want to slow down because they need time to process things. So we work with, I work with the client, but 4 very key components over a few weeks is 1 session. And then when we're certain the client has made a major shift, then we move on to the second one. So that's why it only takes 3, because we've got those different stages. Yeah,
I love it. And how do people work with you? Like, how do they find you? How do they get connected? What do they do?
So I can see it coming across the screen now. So the best thing is if people go to my website, which is sallyg.com. Okay, so just the name Sally with the letter G, it will tell them everything they need to know about me. They can connect to my podcast on there, get free resources from me. And what they can do, they can book in for a free 30-minute call with me. And I don't work with anyone without having that call, because I want to make sure I understand where they're at. I want to make sure we're a good fit and that I'm going to get them the result. To me, the result is everything. So on the website, they can have a look all about me, download a free meditation. There's a free chapter of my book, really get to know me, and then book in for that call with me, just to see. It's not a sales call. It's let me understand where you're at and let me tell you what I think I can do for you. And I said, if people quote your show, then on my 3 sessions at the moment, they'll get a 25% discount.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. You are so wonderful. I love chatting with you, and seriously could chat with you all day. Thank you so much for being up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. And darling, you just look bright and bubbly. It doesn't look like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Good lighting, I think.
Just take the thank you. Take the compliment. You look fantastic.
Never get over that not being able to take a compliment. Exactly. See how we just revert.
So just say thank you. You look amazing. As always, a privilege and a pleasure to chat with you guys. All of the details will be in the group chat. They'll also be on the event and in the feed. It's been a wonderful day, and our 30-minute lunchtime conversation, guys. They're never long enough. We've got so much to talk about, and there's so many fun things coming up. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today, guys. Thank you. Now, if you want to be involved in Healing Through Love, either here on the show or you are a survivor yourself and you're looking to come to our next Pamper Day, you can reach out to Healing Through Love as either an exhibitor or a volunteer or someone who wants to attend our next Pamper Day, which will be May next year. Now, it's Healing Through Love SA. Our email is HTL, so Healing Through Love Adelaide, HTLadelaide@gmail.com. Be sure and join us next week at 1 o'clock for another amazing session. We've got Ali with 2 beautiful guests with us next week. We look forward to joining you then. Bye for now.